welcome to part 2 of the Act 3 Mercenary beating Diablo 2. So, this challenge has been ridiculously slow going so far. I've spent many hours farming Terror Zones, painfully because his AI, quite frankly, sucks, and a lot of times he just runs away or doesn't attack or stands in the middle of a mob and gets killed, and it's a whole lot of pain. But with that being said, we have finally made it over to Nightmare. I tried to push my level up as high as possible, and I got to level 35 and a bit, trying to get to level 36. I originally wanted to get to 40, but it was just so slow going that I just couldn't do it anymore. So we're just going to move on at level 35. I also didn't really get many good Terror Zones when I was farming along as well, so I never got a Terrorized Endarial during that entire time that I was doing it. But I did upgrade some of my equipment to being slightly better. I mean, it's still not great. I found a Mahim. That's about the only thing that was good that I found here. I found a whole bunch of like set and unique items that kind of suck and are no good for us. Just that I've sort of been keeping in this tab here. But as a whole, all of this is stuff that I found is kind of useless as well. So it's not looking great. Right, so the last thing I'm going to touch on is my skills, and that is the fact that I finally hit level 30, which means I can start pumping things into my plan here, which was Redemption and Conviction. So they are what I'm sort of splitting through. I have put a couple into Salvation, just in case my resistances were going to tank at some point and I need some help. So I've got a couple of points just in Salvation there, and the rest of my points here are going into Holy Shield, because I want to have max block as I'm tanking up front. But mainly, as I'm going, I'm just like swapping between Vigor and then swapping between Conviction. And I'm just moving around like this with Holy Shield going. So if I run out here, we're going to see how we're finally being able to kill things in Nightmare. I haven't killed anything yet, as you can see. I've just come over here. So here's a mob right here. I've got my Conviction on. This guy's lightning enchanted, so this is not going to go well. You know, all things considered, with him being lightning enchanted, I think that was actually okay. So that's promising. That's promising for a Nightmare for our start, so that's nice. That means that hopefully we'll be able to kill things relatively easily if that was a lightning enchanted mob. So let's find someone who's not, and we'll see if we can get them down a little bit quicker. I got to try and find something to offset the monster regen. The monster regen has been a ongoing problem. I can't think of a way to apply Prevent Monster Heal, because obviously that generally is from a physical attack that applies, and because I can't hit and he doesn't hit, he just casts spells. I don't really have a way that I've thought of yet to offset the monster regen. I need to try and brainstorm, so if anyone has any ideas for how to stop that going into hell, I would be very much appreciative of your input, because I'm a little bit at a loss for how to fix that. Alright, so that's it. That's basically all I want to cover for the start of this video, and I will be checking in with you guys along the way. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so I just went and grabbed Cain, and I just grabbed the Black Marsh waypoint. So I am going to find Tower, because I intend on running Tower a few times to try and get a little bit more experience cracking. I'm having some problems with archers at the moment. They're sort of shredding my life a little bit more than I would like. His tower here. It's not overly bad, I suppose. It's not a great location, but it's not terrible. So I'm going to do tower for a bit. I'm going to try and get some levels. Or at least, you know, 1 or 2 levels. I'll see how difficult it is. We'll pick up some runes and some gems along the way. But there is also going to be archers in the tower as well. So they will be a little bit problematic. The other thing that I'm looking for in tower while I'm here is I'm looking for a paladin shield with some decent res, so I can take it back to normal to make a spirit shield. So that is the other thing that I am chasing inside of tower, because there is armor racks basically everywhere throughout this, and it's a great place to find a decent paladin shield. So I'm after levels, I'm after runes, I'm after gems, I'm after a paladin shield. And we just found this Wall of Eyeless. So that's probably pretty good for our boy here. That's going to give him some FCR. Ah, Soul Rune. That means I can make a lore. Alright, so that's the first run of counters down. She didn't drop much, but we got a soul, which means we can make a lore for our guy. Alright, so we're gonna go Ort, Soul, that's our lore. I think I'm done with Tower for now. I have run that now until I am level 39. And my conviction is currently at level 11 with a +1 that I'm getting from this scepter that I'm using with the offensive auras. That last run, I did find a shale, as well as another soul. I actually found a bunch of souls after I found the first one, so it turns out it wasn't that exciting anyway. But that does mean that with the shale, I can make myself a rhyme if I find a 2-socket paladin shield with some res. So I'm going to move on now. I'm basically just going to head straight to Andy now. And I'll check in with you when I get there. Alright, we've made our way down to Andariel, so we are just going to see how this goes. I don't have very high hopes. I'm just going to clear this room and then I'm going to jump back to town and pump some potions. Alright, so it's not actually anything overly bad. It's just going to take a little bit of a while. I would really love it if he would, like, get closer and cast some static field. That would be awesome. I could probably try and get real greedy and place him there. But I'm risking him dying. It was way easier than I thought it was going to be. Alright, so I have an idea. The snakes can't come up here when I teleport. So this is a really good farming spot because it's super safe. So what I'm thinking of doing is running this a couple of times, but on a higher player's difficulty, and just sort of tallying up there. Because I have a good waypoint position to get to Claw, and I can literally just teleport straight over here to come straight down, and I can do this over and over and over to get some levels nice and safe from a super unique mob. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to see how it goes. Alright, so I'll put on players 3. We're going to run up here, and we're going to jump into our Lost City waypoint, which is next to the Claw Viper Temple. Then we're going to jump down here, and we're going to telly over here.
Guide my way in this accursed place.
And we're going to telly over here. Yeah, this is the leveling play. I'm getting levels in huge chunks at the moment. And I can basically just sit here safe. I don't need to kite. I don't need to hide. I'm going to run this for a while. So I'll check back in with you in a bit. Right, so we're properly cruising on this strategy at the moment, so I'm going to do a few more, but I'm going to pop this right up to players 8 and just see how this goes. Always about to get an upgrade. You got a spirit coming up, man. Alright, we're going to go over and see if we can give him a 35. Come on, 35, let's go. 32. Not horrible. Alright, so I've been running this for the past 4 hours or so. And I have just hit level 51. And I think it's time that I move on because I'm starting to go slightly mad. I am still getting pretty good experience, as you can see. I mean, pretty good is relative, but it's also on players 8. So for players 8, it's probably not great. But basically, I've had enough. I don't want to do it anymore. It's 4 hours is enough, and level 51 is going to be high enough that I can basically breeze through all of the rest of Nightmare without needing to stop and farm any levels. It's very rare for me to find a farming spot for this stupid build. So basically I just had to take advantage of this one. So my plan now is that I am just going to get out of here. And I am going to zip my way down through Arcane and to Duriel. And basically I'm going to charge and telly my way through Act 3 as well to get to Act 4. So I don't plan on hanging around now. I'm a high enough level. I can drop this back down to players 1. I can finally start making progress again. Alright, I found Summoner. He's got a little group of annoying mobs around him, so it's going to be interesting. You know, this whole time I've been waiting for a white shield so I can Larzak it to make a spirit, but 24 all res, I'm gonna use this for a rhyme. Heal, death. Cool, that caps our res. Alright, so we made it down to Duriel. I have punched some cold res, so we're at 85, but I've realized I don't have many potions. Alright, we've got all the potions. We can get our boy to get some statics off. That's it. Come on, a few more statics. Why did I think this was going to be hard? Hold up, hold up, hold up. Is the Act 3 Mercenary the best Mercenary? Wow. Whoa.
This blade shall...
Well, that's honestly one of the worst rings I've ever seen in my life. I could probably farm this area for some more levels, but I just can't be bothered, so I'm just going to kick on. Easy. So I've run all the way through to find Izzy, and I have found him now. He's got a few people around him, so I'm just going to have to be a bit careful when I come through here. I'm going to jump through and put a portal up, put conviction there. Try and not die. Alright, so we staticked Izzy down pretty low pretty quickly, so he did something right for a change. I am burning through these potions, but we're clearing through the mobs pretty good. Nice. Now we're down to Izzy, and he's not posing too much of a problem, actually, which is nice. For a challenge that started so ridiculously hard, we are cruising right now. So I made a mad dash to the waypoint here, but I didn't pass Forge, and I'm actually going to do Forge in Nightmare because I would like to try and make myself a smoke or get the rune so that I can give old mate here a crescent moon, things like that. So there's some cool stuff that I could possibly get from doing Forge in Nightmare. So we're gonna try our luck. So I'm gonna have to backtrack a little bit now. I worked my way down, and turns out I was right at the very start, so I had to run back through the entire map. So whatever, it is what it is. Hopefully we get a good rune and it's worth it. All right, here we go. Full rune. I don't really know what I can do with that. All right, so I'm in chaos. We're gonna try and just get a few at a time so that we don't get swamped. Right, I have a immune to lightning guy here. So I kind of thought with my minus 135% resist all conviction I got going on that I would be able to break that. Alright, so I've come to Act 2 here, and we are going to buy ourselves a lower res wand. Alright. I have no idea where this is going to work, but we're going to hit the lower res. I really thought with lower res and conviction, I thought the lower res would apply first, and then it would be another further 135 on top of that. Turns out that plan didn't work. This is not boding well for hell if it's going to be like this. I really thought I'd be able to break those just lightning immunes. So what I'll do is I will leave him there in the center until I clear this section, and then I'll bring him down here and just hide him around the corner. Sweet. That is 2 down. Statics, yes. Come on, keep going. A few more. That's it. Nice work, buddy. Ah. Piecing him up. Alright, I'm out of potions, but he's nearly dead. I think I can probably risk it, maybe? See how we go. Come on, go! Kill him! No! Nah, too close. Ah, we're nearly done. Act 5 to go.
End the reign.
Right, annoyingly, so I've already done this. I've killed 2 of them. And old mate here is magic resistant, and he was actually immune to lightning, but the conviction is breaking it. So he's just taking forever to die, and I think I'm going to run out of potions. I only have these left. I don't really want to use those tubes, because even if I do, I don't think it's going to be enough to kill him. So I think I'm going to have to reset this when he's basically nearly dead, which is super annoying. Yeah, I just need to reset it. Get out. What are you doing? Just attack. Oh, why are you such a loser? Stop walking. Just stand there and attack. It's a miracle that you actually managed to kill anybody. Wow, you're an embarrassment. Relatively easy, just super frustrating because his AI is just, it's really grinding on my nerves how dumb he is. Throne room is empty. That's weird. Reset the clock and see if I can get some wave skips going. Oh, okay. We skipped 2, but I missed that one. Woo. Right, easy skips. I'm getting pretty good at them. So, Bale time. Bale is always annoying, primarily because he keeps teleporting and casting the clone. So, yeah, he's just a super annoying boss to fight. So, old mate here might die a few times. I'm probably going to have to just continually town portal back when he gets low life, just to try and keep him alive as long as possible. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth and an annoying fight, but hopefully we can get some good statics at the start, and we'll see how we go. I'll stock up on some potions before I head in there. So it's at this point where we get obviously the statics down as low as we can, so he can't really static any more life off in Nightmare difficulty here. So this is where the slow part is coming, but we're only got to take down a quarter of his life. We're already down below the B, which is pretty good. Yes.
You shall no longer taint this
Ginth's Rift, which is completely useless for me. Okay, so I am finishing that now at level 54. I currently have capped res, but I don't know how well that will transition over into hell. I'll probably end up like slightly below, I would imagine, but that's okay because I intend on running tower to get myself a smoke. I'm going to get rid of this for a smoke here. I would love to find me an amazing paladin shield that I can pump 4 sockets in for a spirit, but if I end up making a smoke, the cannot be frozen here will probably suffice until the end of hell anyway. I am still wearing the Mahim, the Law, and this not so great scepter. I could probably shop a better one than that, but it's not really high on my priority list. Everything else is not great, but it's okay. I've basically just got a bunch of like faster run walk charms here with some res charms going on. And when we go over to our skill tree over here, you will see that I have maxed out Holy Shield now, and I have also maxed out Conviction. So they are the 2 things that I was prioritizing. One is for damage, one is for my own defense. I don't really know what to go into now. I might just pump the rest into Vigor, because I use Vigor all the time to just run around and move through maps. So I'm assuming that the rest of my points are basically just going to get thrown into Vigor, unless you guys can give me an awesome alternative. Our boy is currently just wearing a Spirit, a Stealth, a Wall of the Eyeless, and a Law, so that is what he is rocking at the moment. And with the Conviction going, like I said, he is basically just absolutely mowing things down. So I'm gonna level our character here up to level 65 or 70 before I move over into hell. So I'm going to run some Terror Zones and hopefully also find some gear along the way. So I hope you'll join me on the final journey on the next video, and thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one, bros.